Okay, we are going to talk about multiplying polynomials. So let's recall a few exponent rules before we do this. Remember, a to the m times a to the n, we add our exponents. Okay, that's important. And that's about it. That's all we need to remember for this. Okay, so multiplying a monomial by a monomial. We multiply our coefficients. 3 times 5 is 15. Keep our base, add our exponents. Multiply our coefficients, keep our base, add our exponents. Multiply our coefficients, keep our base, add our exponents. We've got another set. Keep our base, add our exponents. Okay? All right, multiplying a monomial by a polynomial. If there's just a number outside, we're going to just distribute, so using distributive property. So negative 16 x to the third. Negative times negative is positive, so plus 18x squared. If we've got one with variables, remember, keep our base, add our exponents. Okay, so here we get negative 20x to the fifth plus 15x cubed, because remember that's a 1, and then minus 10x squared. Okay, now multiplying a binomial by a binomial. You can either use FOIL or the box method. I have gone to using the box for teaching this. If you would like to use FOIL, which you have learned previously, that's fine. The box keeps it nice and neat, and also when we get to higher multiplication, it helps. So I take my first binomial and I put up here 5x and plus 4, keeping my signs with it. Second binomial, 2x squared and x. I multiply to get the inside, so 2x squared times 5x is 10x cubed. 2x squared times 4 is 8x squared. 5x times x is 5x squared. And then 4x. Now, to get the final answer, I add like terms. Now, as long as you do everything in descending order and you don't have any skips, your like term should be at a diagonal. So now we add or combine like terms. So I get 10x cubed plus 13x squared plus 4x. So the only reason I teach it this way is because it keeps everything together, and you don't have to remember whether you did your first, your outside, your inside, or your last first. Okay? All right, let's do another one. It's especially helpful when we have terms like this, when we have like two different variables. So 5a and negative 2b and 3a and b. So I get 15a squared minus 6ab, and then 5ab and negative 2b squared. So in this one, I do have like terms at a diagonal. So I get 15a squared minus ab minus 2b squared. Okay. All right, let's do another one. So 6m, 5n, 6m minus 5n. So if you look, this one might come out a little differently because these signs are the only thing that changes. So be careful, or just notice something here. So 6 times 6, 36. M squared, because these are both ones. 30 mn, can't add anything. Negative 30 mn, and negative 25 n squared. We add inside. Those are going to cancel. Okay. So what's really cool is if you just change the signs here, that middle term is going to cancel. That's important to notice when we get to factoring, or unfoiling as we call it. It's going to change things. So what I want you to notice here is we have a coefficient. Okay. Or not a coefficient, sorry. We have a monomial. Okay. This monomial only gets distributed once. So what we're going to do is we're going to box this first, then multiply the monomial. So let's do that. We're going to do x plus 1 times x minus 3. So x positive 1, x and minus 3. So x squared, 1x, negative 3x, negative 3. That equals x squared minus 2x minus 3. But I'm not done because I still got that 2x squared. But that follows back to distributing the monomial times the polynomial. So let's do that. So I get 2x to the fourth minus 4x cubed minus 6x squared. And that's my answer. I should highlight my answers here, just so when you go back and look at the answers. Okay, cool. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, so this is another special type because the only thing that's changed is the signs. So you'll start to see the pattern, which is important. So p squared, 7p, negative 7p, and negative 49. P squared minus 49. Okay, that's the answer. All right, let's do another one. 2r, negative 5, 2r, 5, 4r squared, negative 10r, 10r, negative 25, 4r squared, minus 25. That's my answer. Okay, now if I have a monomial, I save that for last. I box it up first. X plus 3, x minus 3, x squared, dx, negative 3x, 9. I get x squared plus, it's definitely a negative 9, x squared minus 9. So if you notice, you always get a minus whenever you're doing, it's called the difference of squares, but we'll learn that in the next 3 sections when we do factoring. It's 2x cubed. Now we distribute. So I get 2x to the 5th minus 18. X cubed, remember, add. Okay. All right. Now, this is when the box is really important or really helpful, because what's going to happen is I'm going to have like 6 terms here. Okay. So this is going to be a 3 by 2 box instead of a 2 by 2. Okay. 3m cubed minus 2m squared plus 4. 3m minus 5. Now, the only thing that I guess could be tricky is transferring like your negatives over, so just make sure you double check. So I get 9m to the 4th minus 6m cubed, 12m minus 15m cubed, 10m squared, negative 20. And this one does have my like terms at a diagonal. Okay. So I get 9m to the 4th, and then I get negative 21m cubed plus 12. Oh, those are not like terms. So be careful. And then also check and make sure that you did it right. Those are not like terms. So we just get 10m plus 10m squared. So that's a case of where because there's no m term, okay, and it might be, if you want to, you can also do like a 0m there and make this like a 4 by 2, but it's not necessary as long as you like are mindful and you're like, oh, those aren't like terms, so you don't circle them. Plus 12m minus 20. I'm going to rewrite my final answer over here. So 9m to the 4th minus 21m cubed plus 10m squared plus 12m minus 20. Okay? That's my answer. Okay. Square of a binomial. I used to say don't memorize this formula, but actually I've changed my mind because when we get to factoring, it's actually really helpful. So the square of a binomial is x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. Okay. And then that's the plus, and then the square of a minus is x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. So this is something to put on your formula sheet to memorize, because when we factor, it's going to be good to know how to undo that. Okay, so let's use the formula here. So x is m and y is 7. So here we go. We get m squared, and it's a plus 7 times m times 2. let me rewrite that because I want to put it in order. So I get 2 times m times 7 plus 7 squared. So I get m squared plus 14m plus 49. Okay? All right. So x is p, y is -4. Now, if you want to use it as -4 and then only memorize this one, oh, shoot. Okay. Only memorize this one, it's possible, okay? So, because if you do this, then you can do p squared plus 2 times m times -4 plus -4 squared. So p squared minus 8m plus 16. So you see how it shakes out to what you need it to be. Okay, so I don't care how you memorize it. X is 2p, y is 3b. Okay, so here we go. 2p squared plus 2 times 3b times 2p plus 3b squared. Okay, so be careful. Remember when we have this squared, we have to give it to both the 2 and the p. So we get 4p squared plus 12pb. We usually put them in alphabetical order. Okay, so remember that. All right, and then plus 9b squared. Okay? All right, so let's do a more complicated one. This is a difference of squares, okay? But I'm still going to box it up, okay? It's actually a 3 by 3, so I need a bigger box here. So let's do a 3 by 3. So the parentheses that it has doesn't necessarily matter too much. So here we go. 3p negative 2 5q, and then 3p negative 2 negative 5q. So you can do it like that. So the parentheses here, you can break them up and it's okay. So here we go. 9p squared minus 6p and then 15pq. And then negative 6p, 4, and then that's going to be negative 10q. So you see how it's going to kind of be everywhere, so you got to be careful when you bring everything down. It might be good to just bring everything down and then find your like terms, or you can find your like terms inside the box. It doesn't really matter. Negative 15pq, negative 10q. Oh, our like terms kind of shake out pretty nicely. And then 25q squared. I caught a mistake already. That should be a positive 10q. Please, 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 if you find mistakes on here, email me, because I know sometimes I make them. Okay, so 9p squared is all by itself. I'm kind of going to highlight as we go so I know I'm done. So 9p squared. And then negative 6p minus 6p is negative 12p. This goes away, which makes sense because it is a difference of squares, so something should cancel, right? Oh, I got another thing that cancels. Cool. And then I got plus 4 and then a 25q squared. Okay, and you actually want to keep it like this. So it's kind of awkward that that 4 is there, but that's the way we're going to see it when we factor. So you want to keep it like that. Okay. So this one is we're squaring, okay, and we're squaring the same thing. So use the formula. So x is 2z plus r, and y is 1. So here we go. We get 2z plus r squared plus 2z, 2 times 2z plus r. I'm struggling because my 2's and my z's are the same. That's why I cross my z's. 2z plus r times 1 plus 1 squared. There we go. Okay, so the only thing we're going to have to FOIL out is that. So 2z plus r. So do your box. So 2z r, 2z r, 4z squared, 2z r, 2z r, rz. So we get 4z squared plus 4zr plus rz plus 2 No, 4. Okay, so 2 times 1 is 2, right? So 4z plus 2r plus 1. Awesome. And I don't think anything. So that's a good one. All right, x plus 1 cubed. So this is x plus y times x plus y times x plus y. This is not x cubed plus y cubed. Not. Just like x plus y squared is not x squared plus y squared. We write it twice, FOIL, or you use the formula, okay? Please, 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 please remember that, because you're going to forget and you're going to do it wrong, and this is really going to upset me, okay? Don't do that, okay? You have to write it twice in FOIL, because you'll miss the middle term, okay? So we're going to FOIL those, okay? X times y, x plus y times x plus y, x squared, xy, xy, y squared, x squared, plus 2xy plus y squared. Now, we know that that's x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. Then we're going to do x plus y times that, okay? So I've kind of already got it written over here, so I'm going to just box it up. So x cubed, 2x squared y, y cubed, x squared y, 2xy squared, y cubed. Oh, I messed that one up. I really like this stuff, and sometimes when I'm like really excited, I mess things up, so I'm sorry. This should be x, y squared. How I knew that is because these should match. Okay, so I end up with x cubed plus 3x squared y plus 3xy squared plus y cubed. That's my final answer for that problem. Okay, so now let's talk about multiplying polynomial functions. F times g of x is the same as f of x times g of x. So what we've been doing, but expressing it as a polynomial, okay? So if you see f times g, you're just going to take 3x plus 4 times 2x squared plus x. Okay? Box it up. 3x, 4, 2x squared, x, 6x cubed, 8x squared, 3x squared, 4x, 6x cubed, plus 11x squared, plus 4x, and that's your final answer. Okay? All right. F times g of negative 1. So remember, we're going to find f times g first, which we did. So we're not going to redo it. And we're going to plug in negative 1. So we're just going to plug negative 1 in for 6x cubed plus 11x squared plus 4x. So 6 times negative 1 cubed plus 11 times negative 1 squared plus 4 times negative 1. To an odd power is negative. To an even power is positive. That's an odd power, so it's still negative. Negative 6 plus 11 minus 4 gives me 11, 5, 1. Okay, that's my answer. All right, that's 4.5.